All right, we're going to try this again. Hello, everyone. Happy, what is it today? Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning. Hello. Hello, hello, hello.
This will serve as the final boarding announcement for Flight 2977 with service to Seattle.
It's always fun doing a live at an airport. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? I am checking in. I'm at the airport. Hi, Paula. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, RV Benny. Nadia. Lizzie. Hi, Miley. How are you guys doing? Good morning. Hi, Canada. It's good to be here with you guys this morning. I am on my way to Utah, and I thought I would drop in. I've been tapping into kind of what's coming down the pike for us the next 6 months. And I don't know about you, but there is, we talk about this all the time, right? The shift that we're going through, the evolutionary shift, the shift in consciousness, the shift in frequency. And I was driving to the airport today. Hello. I was driving to the airport, and I was thinking, you know, one of the most important things, two important things to continue to kind of hold in your awareness in the next 6 months or year is, one, you can't have an external shift, stepping out of systems, trying to change the systems without having an internal shift, right? So we can do as much as we want to change the outside world, change the governmental systems, change the corruption, change all that. But if we're not changing our internal system, we will continue to be not only in a divide, but we will continue to be controlled by fear, and which means that we will be mind controlled. And the only way that you can step out of being controlled from fear, right, is that you find freedom in your own state of being. You find freedom in your own pain. You find freedom in any suffering that you have. You have to find freedom in your internal world. And I think what happens as we go through this evolutionary shift in consciousness is that we are looking at the external world to save us from the systems, to save us from the corruption, to save us from the evil. And again, on one level, that's extremely important. We absolutely need to be able to become aware of and do what we can to not participate in systems that create massive amounts of control and fear. However, in my opinion, we are going down a route that is going to continue to bring us to the awareness of how much we are controlled over and over again, until we are capable of standing in anything that is arising on the planet and not be afraid of it. And this is a state of awareness that is not going to be easy for humanity to grab. Because, again, stay with me here. On one level, it's extremely important to dismantle the systems. It's extremely important to try to create new systems. It's extremely important to point out the corruption and the evil and all of that, right? Same thing with your internal systems, okay? It's extremely important to point out your traumas, right? It's extremely important to point out the shadow in you. But you don't create, new shadow. You don't create, you don't put things inside your trauma. You don't even try to blow up your trauma, right? Dismantle your trauma. If you have done any sort of massive healing, trauma work, you realize that what's actually happening is that you are bringing light to the dark, and you are learning how to stand in the pain. You are learning how to no longer run from the pain, and you are learning how to be whole, regardless of what your internal system is telling you. And that's extremely difficult for a lot of humans to do because they want to change their trauma, right? They want to change what is occurring inside of them. And it's the same thing with the external world. And I'm not saying we don't change the external world. I'm not saying that we aren't going to change the external world. Humanity is waking up. That's part of the evolution, is humanity is waking up out of the illusion that they have been free. Humanity is waking up out of the illusion that people have their best interests at hand. Humanity is waking up out of the idea that corruption doesn't exist and evil doesn't exist, not in their backyard, right? But if we are continuing to create a divide in any way, unattended vehicles may be ticketed and towed by this side or that side, this person or that person, whatever it may be. We're perpetuating the systems. We are. It's a very tricky space that we're in right now. Very tricky space. Because humanity has to be able to, and I'm going to say this until the day I die, if we can't stand in the dark, if we can't stand in the corruption, if we don't believe that we have the ability through our own state of being to be able to stand in whatever comes down the pike, if we believe that we have to run from it, if we believe that we have to change it. Now, I'm not saying we don't change it. Of course we're going to want to change things, okay? But if we believe that that's going to create our freedom, if we believe that choosing the right candidate for the presidency is going to change our freedoms, if we believe that participating in this or participating in that is going to change our freedoms, then we're going to continue to find ourselves in a state of suffering. People aren't going to like that, but it's true. This is an evolutionary shift in human consciousness, which means that it is elevating you to new states of being. I want you to think about that for a minute. It's elevating you, it's elevating humanity into new states of being. It's not about breaking out of systems necessarily. Again, it's a fine line because we have to be aware of what we're in. But if we are constantly running from what we're in, including constantly trying to fight against and change it, there's a different energy, okay? There's a different energy in bringing awareness, okay, to what we're in, bringing awareness to, the new world order that we're walking into, bringing awareness to the sex trafficking that's happening all over the world. It's the craziest evil system that we could possibly wrap our heads around. We have to see that, the small group of families in charge own everything and will continue to own everything, whether we want to believe that or not. We have to recognize that all it takes is for millions upon millions of humans to make a different change, make a different choice, and change happens. But it's an energy, it's a frequency. It's being open and receptive to the world. It's having an open heart. It's having compassion and empathy. Not fighting against, I'm right, you're wrong. We have to do this, otherwise we are screwed. This evolution that we're in, no, Untangled's tomorrow. I'm flying today. This evolution that we're in, you guys, we think we know how to do it. We have no idea. We've never done this before in this way. We haven't. We haven't literally pulled an entire human collective, which is 7 billion, although billions are going to be dying in the next 10 years. Billions of humans are collectively shifting frequency. The way I see it, and the way I will continue to see it, is that this is an energetic shift, which means that it's a state of being. And it is essentially our state of being that changes the whole world. And when humanity can start to understand that it's a state of being, the whole world will change. When humanity realizes that their own light, their own God consciousness, their own ability to recognize that they are whole and safe and free in anything, is the moment that we no longer participate in any of the systems. But that, I mean, for us to actually conceptualize that happening right now is almost insane. I mean, and if you live in the United States, you pay taxes, most of us, right? And if you don't, you get dinged, and then you get into a cycle, and then you get, dinged again, and you're screwed. If you want to have a job. If you live in the United States, at least, you have to pay for most of us pay for our electricity, our gas, our food, our water. Right? This system that we're in, this corruption that we're in is it's much deeper, much deeper than what we realize, right? And what happens in the beginning of the awakening is we start to realize all the corruption and evil, and then we have to stand up for ourselves. We have to stand up for our families and our children, right? And our countries and our planet. Yeah, we have to stand up for it. I've been doing this since I was 12 years old. I'm very, very aware of the cycles that we go in with all of this. And there are cycles. But this is an energetic battle. This is an energetic game. And what happens is that the more that you wake up out of what you're in, the more you see it, okay? One, the more you're going to want to scream from the rooftops, right? A lot of us. You're going to want to make change, a lot of us. A lot of us are going to get exhausted and say, I'm done. Somebody else can take the baton. But when we no longer participate in any of the systems, when we actually live from a frequency that we are okay and safe and free, that whatever choices we can make in our world, we will make. So if you have children and you don't want to get them vaccinated, don't get them vaccinated. That's your choice. That's your state of being. Don't participate. And if you have to participate because of ... then what's your state of being that you're going to be in? We've talked about this the last 3 years. Your state of being and how you are being in all of this and with humanity is what changes the entire world. Not the breaking apart of systems. Because, in my opinion, these systems are so heavily controlled that it's literally going to take energy, frequency to break them. Frequency. And then you think about, well, what does that mean, Lori? It's going to take frequency. Do you believe that you are so safe in this world and that you have the ability to make whatever choice you need to make in order to stay free in your own mind and stay free in your own life? Would you fight against the systems?
Change announcement, Southwest Airlines Flight 3233, service to Los Angeles, will now depart Gate 25. Southwest 3233, Los Angeles, 8:30 departure, will now depart Gate 25.
This is we are about to walk into another round of, Tetris. We're about to walk into another round of merry-go-round, what the fuck. And if you're going to participate in it, which you are, I highly, highly, highly recommend being aware of your state of being as opposed to anything else. How you are being in the world, what it feels like to be you, how you're treating people. If you believe that somebody's going to come and save you or save us, these systems are too big and too corrupt right now. We have to be able to learn how. People aren't going to like this, but I believe deep down that when we stop playing in every single system, we just don't give a fuck. It's like you walk onto a playground, okay? I said this a couple weeks ago. You walk onto a playground, and there's bullies all around, and they've been bullying the playground for years. And everybody knows these are the bullies. And everybody knows that they make all the rules. There's a couple different options. One of the options is you can get together with all your friends and try to go in and figure out how you're going to beat up the bullies. Or you're going to go in and try to convince the bullies that there's different ways to do it. Or you're going to go in and try to take over the bullies. Or you and your friends are going to realize that the bullies have no power over you, regardless of what rules they have on the playground. They have no impact on you. That you have a choice on where you're going to walk in the playground. You have a choice of where you're going to sit, who you're going to listen to. And if the bullies come over to you, you have a choice in how you're going to be. And then you realize that you're completely safe to be in a playground full of bullies. Because at the end of the day, the more people that recognize and see you being all of you and all of your light on the playground with all these bullies, no longer participating even in the bulliness, then they too will join. This isn't a popular frame of reference in terms of the evolution in consciousness because everybody wants to participate and make a change, which I completely understand. But the way I see it is that we're controlled. We're massively, massively controlled in ways that we don't even see. And if we can learn how to be in this, making choices, always making choices, always trying to better yourself and the world in some way. But if you can learn how to stand in this field, in this playground, and not be impacted, we win. That's not to say that, let's say you're on the playground and you see these kids being beat up or you see these kids being poisoned. What are you going to do, just stand there? Of course not. You're going to go over and you're going to help them. I'm not saying just sit back, relax, and watch this. I'm saying your frame of reference, the state of being, how you are being in this world, is that you understand how powerful you are, how magnificent and bright you are, how there is nothing to run from, nothing to be afraid of. In fact, when you are in that, you realize there's nothing to actually change. But you sure as heck go in and try to make the biggest impact that you can with your light. You see the bullies trying to hurt other people, you go in, bright ass motherfucking light, and you pull the people out that are being hurt. The more the bullies are ignored, the less power they have. The less power they have. If I were on a playground and there were big fat fucking bullies everywhere that set all the rules, I wouldn't give a fuck. What I would do is help all the others that believe that they are being controlled and abused. I'd help them. And I would stand in my light, not afraid. Not afraid of whatever they have up their sleeves. Not afraid of what's coming. Because there's a lot more coming, you guys. There's a lot more coming. We've only touched the surface of of this evolution. We've only just begun. We've got years and years and years of this. And it's beautiful because the more we go down this path, the more we realize how to do it. How to truly do this. And we'll see phases. What a gift to be here with everybody right now, because we get to see the phases, you know, of how this evolution happens. There's no right way. It's a shit show. Which way we go, how we do it. I'm sure years, my friend. Very long time, unfortunately. This is a huge, massive evolutionary shift that we're doing. It does not happen overnight. It does not happen by choosing a president that's going to come into the United States government and save us. It does not take, breaking apart the financial system or just breaking apart the pharmaceutical companies. It's all of it. We haven't even touched the surface of pedophilia and sex trafficking in the elites. So we have got to start recognizing where our energy is going. We've got to start recognizing how we're viewing the world. We've got to start recognizing what we chose to be in at this time and how we are being in it. And you've got to, if you cannot stand in your own fucking fires internally, if you are constantly numbing out, if you are constantly trying to find things in the external world to keep you busy and focused, fighting against things, RFK is an amazing man. He's an incredible man. He brings tears to my eyes when I think about him. But do I think he's going to be the one that's going to go in and break up the systems? No. I think it's a great opportunity for us to see what's possible, right? For sure. I think he's an incredible man, and I think one of the things that RFK Jr. is doing is he's bringing light to so much information that we didn't want to see. He's bridging the gap between two sides in the United States, and actually all over the world. He's unifying. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Do I think that he's going to be the one that's going to be able to dismantle the system? No, not at all. But Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is somebody that is bringing awareness and light and information. And if you feel into his energy, you can't help but love the guy. You really can't. But this is beyond that. We're going to have presidential elections 4 more years, and then 4 more years, and 4 more years. And We're fighting against big bullies on the playground. How do we want to fight against them, Yeah, you want to pay attention to, what's happening in your country and on the planet, but more importantly, can you stand in all of this and not fear it? Can you still say, okay, regardless of, so here's the deal, okay? You live in the United States, we're going through primary elections, blah, blah, blah. And so you are perhaps thinking of a candidate that you want to vote for, or you're like, oh, this system's rigged, it's not going to matter, blah, blah, blah. Here's the evolution in consciousness. You have a choice, right? You're like, I like this person, I'm going to vote for them. But the higher perspective is, regardless of who comes in, regardless of what happens, will I still be in the same state of awareness? Will I still feel safe? No, I won't feel safe because ... That's the evolution. That's the actual test. Yes, I feel safe now because this person's in office and they're going to do ... The actual test for us is that regardless of our choices and regardless of what unravels, are you capable of being and standing in all of it? Are you capable of feeling like a badass no matter what? And if not, then they have control over you. They do. If we don't understand that we are actually the ones, each human body is the one that is going to be changing this world. By your state of being, by your beingness. That changes everything. 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 When you stop thinking to yourself, it's all about who's in power. It's all about who we put in office. It's all about, where I live and all of these things. Again, on one level, yeah, it is. But on a totally separate level, it has nothing to do with that. Can you stand in all of it and feel free? Just ask yourself that. Can you stand in all of it and keep your heart open? Can you stand in all of it and not create divide? It's a big one. We learned that 3 years ago. I'm pretty sure we're all going to have a hard time with that coming up if you're in the United States. Watch. Watch how much we learned, right, as we go into the elections. We're here to become unified, right? And I do think that's one of the amazing things about RFK Jr. is he does have that an energy of unification, but man, we got to stop thinking that it's outside of us. The other thing is that everything that you guys have been going through, everything that you've been going through personally is teaching you how to stand in uncomfortable. I've said this for the last 3 years and I'll continue to say it, but I don't think that we're going to be getting out of this anytime soon. And I don't have the attachment or expectation that I am, because if I did, I would be grasping for the external world to change in order to change my state of being and to feel safe in the world. I refuse to do that. I am going to make sure that I feel safe and free in the world regardless of what's happening. And one, yes, my choices. Abso-fucking-lutely. But you think of like a Nelson Mandela who was in prison, for 40 freaking years. And he was able to find a state of freedom that most of us will never know. That's the evolution of human consciousness. That changes systems. When we stop playing in the systems completely, when we stop giving the systems even an ounce of our energy, fucking systems would corrupt. They would dissolve. But that's not going to happen. not for a very long time, because we need the systems. You need food, you need water, you need gas, you need electricity, you need to put your money somewhere. Yeah, we're slowly stepping out of those systems, but we're in them. Anyway, I gotta go board my plane. Point of all this is do the inner work. Do the inner work, keep your heart open. Try not to create any type of resistance or divide against humanity, against your people that you see walking down the street. Recognize that this is a very long evolution, years and years and years and years and years, and we slowly chip away at things, but we have got to feel safe and free right here, right now. We've got to pay attention to our choices. We got to stop thinking that we are victims and that we're screwed and that everything happens through the external world. That's not true, right? Everything happens from the internal world. If you remembered the fucking God consciousness that you were, your whole world would change. Your whole world would change. Everything would change. But that's going to take some time. But that's the actual evolution in human consciousness, is stepping back into your God consciousness while you are in physical form, walking through a planetary system that has been imprisoned for a very long time. That's what we're practicing. That's what we're doing. And the only way in, the only way to be in that, the only way to break through, the only way to break out, the only way to destroy all of this and to win, we're not even winning, but we're becoming the light that we've always been. This planet is becoming the light that it always has been, is to stop running from your own internal world. Because God is inside of you, whatever you want to call it, it's inside of you. And the moment that we recognize that, everything changes. Everything changes. If we are gods walking this planet, get the fuck out of our way. And how do we remember that? You go in. You go in over and over and over. You feel the pain, the suffering, the struggle. You feel the mind control. You feel your thoughts, you feel the emotion, you feel the trauma, you feel the victimness, the lack, the unworthiness, the insecurity, the needing to be seen by others, the needing to be validated by others, the loneliness. Go in, my friend, go the fuck in. Go so deeply in that when you come out, you're like, holy shit. I'm going to just shine my light. I'm going to be me. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to hold my heart wide open.
23 for a message. Stephen Yang, please
Seriously.
report to gate number 23 for a message.
All right, I think I got to go. I think I'm boarding soon. Oh, I've got like 20 minutes. I guarantee you, how many of you right here that are on here, out of the 400 people that are here, how many of you guys are going through some internal stuff? You know, like...
Southwest is also paging Yolanda Trujillo. Please report to gate number 23 for a message.
I'm going to Utah. How many of you guys, where the buffalo roam? I'm going to see the buffalo. So excited. How many of you are in some sort of like, you know, just going through some stuff internally, whether it's anxiety or stress or lack or trauma, you know, feeling more than you ever have. Your thoughts are going crazy. Your relationships are wacky right now. You're super lonely maybe. You don't know what kind of decisions to make, right? Everything is pointing us back in. Right? It takes so much courage. It takes so much courage to be in this right now. Addiction. God bless addiction, because my God, it's trying to set you free, my friend. It is trying, everything that you're in, everything that you're experiencing is setting you free. That is the evolution as well. You know, like, it's going to get more and more intense for a lot of us. And it's all opportunity and gift. All of it. It's breaking you free. It's breaking everything that you are seeing and feeling and hearing and being and doing is breaking you free. Free from the illusion that you have been anything that you have believed yourself to be. Breaking free from the illusion that you're not safe to be all of you in all of this. Breaking free from the illusion that you need other people to validate you. Breaking free from the idea that how your body looks is equated to your worthiness. It's hard, of course it is. Are you kidding me? You should see my internal world right now. We've got to die over and over and over again in order to remember that we are God consciousness in form, with a personality and an ego, trying to figure out how to do this. You know? While the entire external system starts collapsing in front of our faces. And we start realizing how much evil and corruption there is in the world. And we're like, Jesus criminies. This is crazy land.
Damage, and removal.
You know?
Do not accept items or packages from unknown individuals. Unattended vehicles may be ticketed and towed.
This is going to be crazy. I'm telling you. Yeah, we're being pushed in over and over and over again. Everything that's happening is pushing us in. So we're doing this juggling act. We're doing a juggling act of the internal and external awakening. But I'll say this one more time. I believe it so deeply. It is our internal world that breaks free of these systems. It's the internal world. It's recognizing that you're God. Okay, my flight's boarding. I gotta go. All right, I love you guys. I'll save this. I'll put it on Facebook, YouTube, where else? Instagram. And in the meantime, be gentle with yourselves. And I love you.